Howdy, folks. Welcome to Wellness Wednesday. My name is Kenneth, and on Wednesdays, I talk about different aspects of health and wellness. And today's topic, we're going to be talking about the importance of adequate sleep, something that I struggle with. I know a lot of us do. I will say that having been a soldier, there's a lot of things that have a lot of habits that I got into while I was in the military that aren't necessarily the best habits to carry over when you're done. Well, and the older I get, the more I realize I'm kind of set into these patterns, and it's really not helping me. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the importance of getting adequate rest, how it impacts your health and wellness, and what else it can impact, and then some things that you can do to improve that kind of a thing. So let's get into it. One of the things that most people don't realize is that adults need an average of 7 hours of sleep a night. Now, this is based on an average for adults. Okay, the older you get, the more you might need to be, the more sleep you might need to be getting, that kind of a thing. But now let me ask you a question. What do you think? What do you think the average Americans? How many of average American adults do you think are getting that much sleep? What do you think? Well, let me tell you, 40% get less than that, and that is really, really not a good thing. Not getting enough sleep it's been linked to problems in immune health, metabolic health, memory, learning, and all kinds of things are impacted by whether or not your body is getting enough sleep. And there's also an aspect of the quality of sleep that you're getting. The better quality of sleep that you're getting, the more benefits you're going to get from it. Now, some things that impact this, of course, is if you're feeling sick, then of course you want to make sure that you're getting more rest, because while your body is in the process of going after whatever it is that's making you sick, it's working harder, so it needs to have that rest so it can recuperate from that. Another aspect of it is that your body is designed to have a certain amount of downtime to allow certain metabolic processes to happen. So if you're not having that downtime, your body isn't able to do those metabolic processes that it's the way it's meant to, and then that can start problems. And here's the thing: a lot of things with wellness, it's kind of like a traffic jam, okay, or a pile up on a freeway. One thing starts to slow things down, and then that starts to slow other things down, and then that's slowing other things down. And then rather than having just this one little issue that you might be working on, it started to impact multiple things. So the next thing you know, you've got all these issues. So we can't tackle everything at once. That's not usually a good way to try to handle things. It's just a great way to stress yourself out. But looking at the things that we can change and knowing that has impacts on multiple things is probably one of the best ways to go. And one of the easiest things that you can do, besides just drinking water, drink water. Is getting enough sleep, getting enough rest. That is it will impact so many other aspects of your life, your energy levels. Also, your blood glucose cycle is tied into your rest cycle. So your memory has aspects that are processed during rest. You have different kinds of things that for stress and that kind of thing that are processed while you are at rest. So you need to get that rest, and you need to get, I'm doing good if I get 6 hours. And this doesn't mean that, I have alarms that are waking me up at 6 hours. This means that I typically don't sleep longer than about 6 hours. I think part of that is the fact that I was just so used to the sleep cycle I was on when I was in the military, where I was running almost all week long. During the week, I was typically running on about 5, maybe 6 hours of sleep a day. So I think my body's just kind of in that habit, and I've been trying to work on doing that. But even I was like, okay, I'm gonna get myself wore out. I'm gonna do my exercise. I'm gonna do all this stuff. I'm gonna take that shower. I'm gonna get set, go to bed early. So instead of getting up at 5, I end up waking up at 3 because I went to bed 2 hours earlier. And my body just was like, okay, you've had the rest. Beep, wake up. If your body's doing that, that's fine. If you find that you need to have like an hour and a half to 2 hour nap in the afternoon, if you're somebody whose occupation allows you to do that, that's actually not a bad thing. Okay. I don't have the information in front of me, but I know there have been studies done where showing that having that kind of that like a siesta, as it were, in the afternoon is actually not a bad thing. It actually can have some very positive aspects to things. Making sure what you're eating can impact how well you can sleep as well. If you're drinking in a lot of caffeine and that kind of stuff, it's going to make it harder for you to fall asleep. It's going to make it harder for you to get into that nice rest thing. It's going to make it harder for you to stay asleep. So, melatonin is something that helps trigger the body into falling asleep and staying asleep kind of thing. And things that interfere with melatonin can be a problem. So different kinds of, eating a lot of chocolate, believe it or not, eating a lot of chocolate before bed is not a good thing either. Because that also impacts your body's biochemistry and can interfere with the sleep cycle. What, sweetheart? I have a kitty that's on my desk, and she's over here looking at me like she needs me to do something. All right. Yeah. This is my little office kitty. She is so good at helping me stay sane. Although there are times she drives me crazy. But back to sleep. It allows your body to physically recover in so many different aspects. It is just so important to be getting out of rest. Now, some of that, of course, I'm talking about getting sleep, and I'm yawning. Irony. Anyway, and I promise you, I got 6 hours of sleep last night, so it's not like I didn't get enough sleep. My body is just not feeling it right now. We got the weather changing, and I'm still feeling kind of run down from having got my COVID booster. So, probably going to need to take a nap today. Anyway, there are like chamomile teas. There are different kinds of herbal teas that you can drink that will help you with being able to fall asleep and to relax. Chamomile. I know a lot of people love chamomile tea. Again, if you're somebody who takes a lot of different kinds of medications, anytime you're looking to use an herbal supplement for any reason, I encourage you to discuss it with your physician or the pharmacist to make sure that this isn't something that's going to impact the benefits that you're getting from your medication. So anytime you're looking at any kind of herbal supplements and stuff like that, and you're taking medication, discuss it with the pharmacist, discuss it with your physician. I am not an expert on these things. I wouldn't even know. I can do internet research just like a lot of other people. But how do I know what is and isn't valid? And how do I know, oh, this is one of those things where you fall into the exception where, yeah, it's going to be a problem, and not the average person where it's not going to be a problem. That's not me. I'm not that expert. I don't have that education. I don't have that training or experience. So talk to the people that do. If and from what I understand, talking to your pharmacist about any concerns like that, they're happy to do it. It's part of the thing they love about their job, at least from the people I have talked to that work in pharmacies. So that being said, there are all different kinds of things that you can take. I have a supplement that I take. One of the things I love about it is that it has a dual phase release for the melatonin, where it releases like 40% of it in the first hour to help you fall asleep. And then it releases the rest of it over the course of the night, so that way you can stay asleep better. I still think it's hilarious. I'm talking about getting enough rest, and I'm sitting here yawning like everyone's going to be looking at me like, yeah, you need to get some rest. I swear. You can ask my wife. I got 6 hours of sleep last night. I took a 2.5 hour nap yesterday afternoon, and I had about 5.5 hours of sleep the day before. I'm just feeling run down from the COVID booster and feeling sick, and then the changing in weather. You know, if you like to have weather that is very varied, come move to Central Texas, because, you know, if you don't like what's going on right now, just hang out for a couple of days. It'll be something completely different. There's like an Arctic blast that's getting ready to come through here, and we're supposed to have temperatures down into, like, you know, yesterday it was like in the 70s, you know, and now it's going to be down into like the 20s. So yay, 50-degree change in temperatures. It's going to just make everybody sick. But this is another aspect where, you know, if you're not getting enough rest, it impacts your immune health. So going to be making sure I get plenty of vitamin C. Got to get my vitamin C. So I'm just having one of those off days today, folks. I'm sorry about that. But so the thing that the one of the other points that I wanted to make, though, is that getting into the habits, you know, setting a time for, I'm turning off screens. Believe it or not, your screens on your phone, on your computer, on your TV, all of these things can impact your body's natural rhythms, telling it to go to sleep. So be mindful of that. Also be mindful of the color temperature of light that you're dealing with. Bright white and blue light is the cooling lights are going to trigger your body being awake, whereas the warmer tones, the more yellowish, the goldish colored lights help to relax and that kind of thing. So that's another aspect, you know, the lighting that you're dealing with and looking at your screens and everything else. So put those things away. Give yourself some time to relax before going to bed. Make sure that you stop with the caffeine and stuff a couple of hours before you're getting ready to go to bed. And then, you know, if you're going to have your tea or something like that, have your chamomile tea. And then, you know, get yourself into a regular habit where you're going to bed inside of on average, inside of a 30-minute window. You know, and then target your wake up time and give yourself a 30-minute window there too. And working to get into that consistency where you're like, okay, yeah, no, I normally would stay up later, but I need to go to sleep. Go to sleep, go to bed, and then get up, and then you're going to find after a couple of weeks of doing this, your body is going to be like, through the first part of it. Yeah, it's going to happen. Stick with it. And then you'll find that your body will adjust to that new rhythm, and it will be easier for you to fall asleep when it is that you have decided it is the time for you to have your sleep time. And you will find that it's easier for you to wake up in the morning and actually get your brain in gear and get going, once you have allowed your body to adjust to this. It takes some discipline and effort to get there, but trust me, your body will adjust to it, and then you will find that it works. You can make it work. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people are like, well, I get up at 5:36, whatever it is during the week, because I got to work. Don't push that much more than like an hour and a half on the weekends. Because if all of a sudden you're letting yourself sleep till 10, 11 o'clock, your body is going to be, then it's going to be just like, oh man, trying to get back into the swing of things for Monday. You're going to be dragging. It's just, so you can let it shift for your holidays. You can let it shift, but try to keep it, within an hour and a half of what you normally do on a weekday. And then again, it doesn't mean you have to get up and you have to start banging around the house and everything else, but get up, get active, go for a walk, take care of some things. You'll find that you can be a lot more productive on the weekends, and you'll still feel rested, because a lot of reasons a lot of people feel like they're not rested on Monday isn't that they didn't get enough rest over the weekend. It's that they let their body get out of whack with their sleep cycle. And now they're, the body's confused on when it's supposed to be shutting down and waking up. So trying to stay in that consistent window is kind of important there, folks. So, and like I said, it takes a little bit of effort to get into it. Finding yourself something that helps you fall asleep and stay asleep. Now, if you're somebody who deals with nightmares, flashbacks, and that kind of stuff, there are medications that can help affect that. I encourage you to talk to your healthcare provider about those kind of things. If this is something that you are dealing with, if that is part of what's impacting your sleep cycle, by all means, seek professional help with that. I mean, everybody has the occasional bad dream and that kind of thing. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about if it's consistently impacting your ability to sleep, definitely talk to your providers and see if they can get you some help. And if you're a veteran and you're dealing with these kind of things, talk to the VA, because if it's impacting you and your ability to function, the VA should be helping you with that. And if you need help and you can't get the VA to help you, or you're not sure what to do, reach out to your local VFW post, and they have people there. You don't have to be a member of the VFW. If you're a veteran and you need some help, they will help you. Okay. So, and if you're still confused on who to reach out to me. I will get you in touch with some of the people that I know have that kind of information, and we will try to do our best to help you out. It's that kind of a thing. So get your sleep, get your rest, work on getting into that healthier cycle of going to bed consistently, waking up consistently, and it can make a lot of changes in your life. You'll find yourself more productive. You'll find yourself feeling better. You're not getting sick as often. You won't be having the same kind of issues with a lot of mental functions and that kind of thing as well. So getting adequate rest is just so important. So, trying to think. Yeah, today's Wednesday. Never mind. I was trying to remember what we were doing for Foodie Friday tomorrow, and then I remembered today is Wednesday. It's not Thursday. So I don't have to worry about trying to introduce what we're going to be doing for Foodie Friday, because that's I'll be honest with you, I ain't got no clue what we're doing. It's been that kind of a week. Jessica's been a little under the weather. I've been under the weather. Both of us went and got our COVID boosters on Friday last week. So yeah, it's been that kind of a week. So anyway, see you again tomorrow at noon Central Time for Thursday's Thoughts. We'll have an interesting conversation about some life, the universe, and everything. By the way, the answer is 42. And then I'll see you guys on Friday at 4 p.m. Central Time for Foodie Friday with my lovely wife, Jessica. So until next time, peace, love, and photography. And remember, everything can make a beautiful image, including you. Have a great afternoon.